Okay, and let's grab another view controller here. Let's just scroll down, and the view controllers are the ones with these yellows. So I'm going to get a standard view controller and put it right next to my current view controller. And here, and we want to show this view controller when the user clicks on our sign up button. So there are two ways of doing it. The first one, you can do it in a code, just have the segue connected from this view to the other view. But since this is quite simple, we can just click on the sign up button and connect the segue from here. So what you need to do is control and drag from this view, from this button to the view, and release it. It's gonna be present modally. And I can see on top we have this small map area. You can actually move around it if you have more views. Currently it's blocking my view, so I'm going to move it on the side. So let's also close the left panel here because we're not going to use it. And the same thing here we are going to do is just get our image view. Add the constraints. And put the image in it. Then let's get the button. Okay, let me just go to the ready application. And this is what we are building. So we have all this information, and now I need the big label. I can just copy this one and paste it here, and instead call it sign up. And the button here is not going to have a title, but it's going to have a back button here. And I just zoom in, make this a little bit bigger, so actually our finger can click on it. And let's add constraints for our view here. So I put 10 points and 16 left and right. Since we had copied the previous one, these height constraints came with it already. And now we have to make the button. And actually I'm going to put the width, let's say put 30, and height put 30. So there is actually place for our finger to click. And make sure that this button is actually on top of the sign up. If you see the view hierarchy here, the button should be underneath. If I put it on before our label, let me just move the image view. I cannot really click this button because on top is the label. So whenever you touch here, you touch this sign up label. So make sure that the button is after the label. So when you come and click on it, you are going to hit the button first. Just drag it under the label. It doesn't want to move. Let's try the label up. This can be a bit frustrating. I guess there are some bugs right now in Xcode, but just play around and make sure whenever you click this thing, this is what you are selecting and not the label. Once you have done that, let's add constraints 16, and let's put width and height. And also I want to center vertically with my sign up. I put this like that. And let's grab some text fields. Okay, it's gonna be a little bit down. Can zoom out. This is the first one is our username. And let's also make this without borders and put the constraints 16 on each side, and let's put 35 points on top. And I forgot to put the height, so let's make it, let's see how much is this. I have 34, so I'm gonna make the same here, put the height to be 34 points. All right, so we have our username. Let me just quickly run the application to see if the transition works and how the size here looks. So if I click here, it takes me, okay, we have an issue with our image view. Other than that, and also we need to fix this coloring here. Let's put the color to be not the color default, but we want it to be white all the time. All right, and the image, let's change this aspect to fill. So now we are filling the image view, and I'm going to try again, just quickly see how it goes with now our aspect changed. You can see the label there is good, and also this is nicely full image view here. All right, I think we need to bring this a little bit down, and then we are good to go. So I'm going to change the top measurement for this one, and the way you can edit it, you come on the measurements and go, you just find the top is 10, let's put it 20. And can see everything comes down with it because we have set these constraints already. So I'm going to also copy this view from here. I just copy and paste it. Command C, Command V. Okay. I'm going to change the height a bit bigger so I can actually move it around. And then we're going to bring it back to 2. And let's add the constraints for this one. So it's going to be 0 on each side, and let's put 7 at the bottom, at the top. And what I'm going to do now is actually to select my text field here and also select my view. So I've selected both views. I'm going to Command C to copy them, and then Command V, and we have 2 views selected now. All right, it's gonna be a bit tough to move this around because they are behind of our sign up. So let me just So put our alignments, and these are set. I need another one, which is the city. First, let's change this to be email instead of username. Now let's make the first letter capital. Again, I'm Command C, Command V to move these things, copy them. And just select the new one, and let's put the constraints. I'm gonna do 7 at the top, 16 on the sides, and 7 at the bottom. This looks like we have 3 constraints here. Let me just check top. Yeah, we have 3 top constraints because we are copying this around. And this one, it actually has 2 top constraints, so I delete one of them. Yeah. All right, so the third one is gonna be our city. Just change this to city as our placeholder. Then we have this segmented control. I'm going to drag this underneath, and let's open it up. And also we need to put our constraints. Let's put this one 7 and 16 on the sides. The first one is gonna be title male, and the second segment is gonna be female. All right, and then we need another 3 views. So I'm going to copy all these 3. And let's move them down. I'm moving it down with my down arrow, so I don't have to drag them one by one. Okay, and let's start from the first one. I'm going to add my constraints. Let's put 7 on the top, 16 on each side. Okay, I guess we lost one of the labels somewhere. Yeah, so let's just copy one of the labels here. So the bottom we put 7, and now it touches our label, and this is gonna be date of birth. So let's change it here. Then we have the password and the repeat password. Okay, and let's put the constraints for the remaining. It's gonna be 7, 16 on each side. And this one the same. And finally, we need the button. So I'm going to just copy this one, paste it here. It jumps on the top. Let's bring it down. And I'm going to position it in the middle. Now let's put 35 points from our last line here, and width we are going to keep, the height we are going to keep, and I just want to align it to be horizontally in the center of the view. And the last thing for this view is this bottom part. We can copy from there and come here, paste it here, and let's just move it like 700 to be at the bottom. Now we can navigate it properly. Let's put somewhere like here. And now we can put our constraints. Some of the constraints are already here because we have copied them, but the bottom constraint is not here. So let's put 10 points like we did with the previous one. This looks very little for this view. Let's change it to 30 points. Let's check how much is here on the so we have the trailing and a line leading 20 points. So let's do the same here for 20 points. All right, just the thing we are going to do is change the text here. Instead of don't have an account, I'm going to put this already have an account. And this one is going to be login. And the button here, instead of login, I'm going to choose the register button. So let me just check how it's called in our assets. Button sign in, I guess this is the one. I just select it, the text is gonna be button sign in, which is the register. So quickly running the application, we should be able to see our constraints working and our view works here. All right, so we are missing some constraints for our labels, not labels, the views. That's why only one is here. Actually, you can see also we have this red here. It shows that all these views don't have proper constraints. So let's quickly fix that. This ones just need left and right constraints. Actually, what you can actually do is to select multiple views. Especially it's gonna be easy when we do on the left panel here. 1, 2, no, this one we already have. 3, 4, 5. And then you can add like, was it 0? I think it was 0. And all the constraints will be set for all of them. Now I see the red one disappeared. Yellow, sometimes it's just a warning for something. We will check it out, but usually it's good to go. And yeah, we have all of them here. Just this text doesn't really pop up for placeholder, which we are going to change the color a bit later. Yeah, everything looks good. Just one thing while we are here, what I want to do is for the password and for repeat password, if you select them, we can change this secure text entry, so it actually doesn't show whatever we are putting, and instead it just shows the dots. And then for email, we can change the keyboard type to be email address. And same here, for the password, I want to make it secure text entry, and for the email, we want to make this where is the keyboard type, and let's put this email address. Right, so we have our two user interface design, and from next lecture we are going to do our connections and create our first user.